Failure. It's a word that holds the power to paralyze even the strongest among us. But why does failure have such a grip on us? Because it makes us question our abilities, our worth, and our purpose. But what if I told you that failure is not the enemy? What if failure is, in fact, the greatest teacher we could ever have? The difference between those who crumble under the weight of failure and those who rise stronger lies in how they perceive it. When you fail, the first instinct is to hide, to escape, to deny that it ever happened. But running from failure only gives it power over you. The real growth begins when you face it, when you dissect it, and when you embrace the lessons it brings. Failure is not a dead end. It's a stepping stone. Every successful person you admire has stood face to face with failure. They didn't let it define them. They let it refine them. Think about Thomas Edison. The man failed over 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This perspective is everything. Failure doesn't mean you're incapable, it means you're learning. Each failure removes one incorrect path and brings you closer to the right one. The key to defeating failure lies in your mindset. Most people see failure as a reflection of their abilities. But here's the truth. Failure is a reflection of your attempts, not your worth. You failed because you tried. And trying is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Those who never try, never fail, but they also never grow. Let's take a moment to understand failure on a deeper level. Failure isn't final unless you decide to stop. It's a process, a necessary phase in your journey to success. Each failure is a test. It's a test of your resilience, your determination, and your ability to adapt. Every failure holds a lesson, and those lessons are the building blocks of greatness. Now, here's the hard part. Failure hurts. It stings, it humiliates, and it shakes your confidence. But pain is temporary, and what you gain from failure lasts a lifetime. The lessons you learn, the strength you build, and the grit you develop. These are gifts that only failure can give you. You must learn to see failure as an opportunity, not an obstacle. To defeat failure, you must redefine it. Stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as the beginning. A beginning of new strategies, new insights, and a new version of yourself. Success is not the absence of failure, it's the mastery of failure. The most successful people aren't the ones who avoided failure, they're the ones who learned how to use it as fuel. The next time you fail, don't ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead ask, "What can I learn from this?" Shift your focus from blame to growth. Blame traps you in a cycle of negativity, but growth propels you forward. When you focus on growth, failure becomes a tool rather than a threat. One of the greatest mistakes people make is allowing failure to define their identity. They fail at a task and label themselves as failures. But you are not your failures. Your failures are moments, not definitions. They are events, not verdicts. When you separate your identity from your results, you free yourself to try again without fear. Resilience is the antidote to failure. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to adapt, and to keep moving forward despite setbacks. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Resilience doesn't mean you'll never feel discouraged. It means you'll rise despite feeling discouraged. Another powerful way to defeat failure is through preparation. Many failures occur because of a lack of preparation, not a lack of potential. When you prepare, you build a solid foundation. You equip yourself with knowledge, skills, and strategies that increase your chances of success. Preparation doesn't guarantee you won't fail, but it ensures you'll fail forward, learning and improving each time. Surround yourself with the right people. The company you keep influences how you view and respond to failure. Be around those who encourage you, who remind you of your potential, and who challenge you to rise above your setbacks. Avoid those who magnify your failures and diminish your self-belief. Your environment plays a significant role in how you handle failure. Understand that failure is not linear. You might fail, improve, and then fail again. Progress isn't always a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and often frustrating. But that's the beauty of growth. It's dynamic. Each failure brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. Celebrate small wins along the way. When you're battling failure, it's easy to focus on what went wrong and overlook what went right. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. Each step forward is proof that you're capable of growth, and each win fuels your motivation to keep going. Another powerful tool in defeating failure is self-compassion. Too often we are our own harshest critics. When we fail, we beat ourselves up, replay our mistakes in our minds, and drown in self-doubt. But what if, instead of criticizing yourself, you chose to encourage yourself? What if you treated yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend? Self-compassion doesn't mean excusing your mistakes. It means acknowledging them without judgment. It means recognizing that failure is a shared human experience. Everyone stumbles, everyone falls, and everyone has the capacity to rise again. To defeat failure, you must also redefine success. Success isn't just about achieving a goal. It's about who you become in the process. It's about the strength you build, the wisdom you gain, and the resilience you develop. When you focus on personal growth rather than external validation, failure loses its sting. One practical way to overcome failure is to set smaller, achievable goals. Sometimes failure feels overwhelming because the goals we set are too big, too far-reaching, or too unrealistic. By breaking your goals into smaller steps, you create a series of victories along the way. Each small win builds your confidence, renews your motivation, and propels you forward. Remember, even the tallest mountains are climbed one step at a time. Focus on the next step, not the entire journey. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small, because each one brings you closer to your destination. Another critical aspect of defeating failure is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and so is the path to success. You may face obstacles, detours, and unexpected challenges, but adaptability allows you to pivot, to find new solutions, and to keep moving forward. It's not about sticking rigidly to a plan. It's about staying committed to your vision while being flexible in your approach. Finally, surround yourself with stories of triumph over failure. Read about people who faced immense challenges and emerged victorious. Learn from their experiences, draw inspiration from their resilience, and remind yourself that failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone. Your story is still being written. Every failure is a chapter, but it's not the conclusion. You have the power to turn the page, to start a new chapter, and to create a narrative of perseverance, growth, and success. So the next time you encounter failure, don't run from it. Don't let it define you. Instead, face it with courage, learn from it with humility, and rise from it with determination. Failure is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher, your most valuable ally, and your stepping stone to greatness. The question isn't whether you'll fail, it's what you'll do when you fail. Will you let it defeat you, or will you use it to fuel your rise? The choice is yours, and as long as you choose to rise, failure can never have the final say. Failure isn't just a momentary setback, it's a part of life that shapes our character, strengthens our spirit, and builds our resilience. But let's address the core question. Why does failure feel so overwhelming? The truth is, we often link failure to our self-worth. When we fall short, we don't just think, I failed at this. Instead, we internalize it as, I am a failure. This dangerous misconception shackles us, making it harder to rise. To truly defeat failure, we must separate our worth from our results. Your value is not determined by the times you stumble, but by the times you get back up. Think of failure as a trial that life throws at you to test your commitment to your dreams. It's not about how many times you fall, but about how many times you rise. The ability to rise again, resilience, is what sets achievers apart from those who quit too soon. Building resilience begins with your mindset. It's about seeing failure as a chapter, not the whole story. Think about a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The cocoon phase isn't failure, it's preparation. Similarly, every time you face failure, you're not at a dead end. You're in the cocoon of growth. You might feel trapped, but transformation is happening. Embrace this mindset, and failure will no longer feel like a curse, but a crucial part of your journey. One key aspect of resilience is self-belief. Belief in yourself acts as a shield against failure. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary, but your potential is permanent. When life knocks you down, your belief in your abilities will help you rise. And belief isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate. You cultivate it by proving to yourself, time and again, that you can overcome challenges. Finally, remember that failure is temporary, but the growth it offers is permanent. You have the power to rewrite your story. Failure is just one chapter. It's not the whole book. Every great story has moments of struggle, doubt, and defeat. But what makes the story compelling is how the hero rises. You are the hero of your story. And just like every hero, you will face battles. Failure will test you, but it will not defeat you. You will learn, adapt, and grow. You will rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. The path to success is paved with failures. Each failure is a lesson, a challenge, and an opportunity. Defeat failure by embracing it, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. And as long as you keep moving forward, failure can never have the final word. So today, make a choice. Choose to see failure differently. Choose to rise, to learn, and to grow. Because the moment you stop fearing failure is the moment you unlock your true potential. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. Failure is like a mirror. It doesn't distort the truth, it reflects it. But often we don't like what we see. The image of our efforts falling short, the weight of our expectations crumbling, and the echo of doubts rising in our minds. It's uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Discomfort is where the magic begins. Growth happens when you step into that discomfort, not away from it. If you reflect deeply, you'll realize that failure is a signal that something needs to change. Maybe it's your approach, your mindset, or even your goals. But the beauty of failure is that it forces you to reevaluate. It's the universe's way of telling you to pause, rethink, and come back stronger. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is patience. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success, but behind every overnight success is a story of persistence, setbacks, and relentless effort. It's easy to get frustrated when things don't work out as planned, but remember, even nature teaches us the value of patience. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. It grows slowly, facing storms, droughts, and harsh conditions. Yet it persists. And one day, it stands tall, unshaken. Failure, in many ways, is like planting a seed. Every setback is an opportunity to nourish the soil, to strengthen your roots, and to prepare for the growth that's yet to come. But this requires faith. Faith in the process, and most importantly, faith in yourself. It's crucial to separate temporary failure from permanent defeat. Temporary failure is an event, a moment in time. Permanent defeat, however, is a mindset. It's when you give up, not because you lack the ability, but because you lose the belief. The difference between the two lies in one word: persistence. Let's consider Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. He's often celebrated for his victories, but what's equally remarkable is his resilience in the face of failure. Jordan famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His story isn't just about talent. It's about tenacity. Failure didn't break him, it built him. Each missed shot became a lesson. Each loss became fuel. And each setback pushed him closer to greatness. The same applies to you. Your failures are not barriers. They're bridges. They're not the end. They're the beginning. But to walk across those bridges, you need courage. The courage to try again, to face the fear of failing once more, and to believe in the possibility of success. One way to defeat failure is to shift your perspective from perfection to progress. Many people fear failure because they're obsessed with being perfect. But perfection is an illusion. It's a standard that no one, not even the most successful individuals, can achieve. What truly matters is progress. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you learning, growing, and evolving? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. Progress requires action, and action requires risk. When you take risks, you expose yourself to the possibility of failure. But here's the thing. Without risk, there's no reward. Playing it safe may protect you from failure, but it also keeps you from reaching your full potential. You must dare to step outside your comfort zone, knowing that failure is a possibility, but growth is a guarantee. There's a significant difference between failing and failing forward. Failing forward means that each mistake propels you closer to your goal. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you extract the lessons hidden in the experience. Every failure contains a seed of wisdom. When you fail forward, you turn setbacks into setups for future success. Take the example of J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she faced rejection after rejection from publishers. Her manuscript was dismissed multiple times, and she was even advised to get a real job. But instead of letting failure define her, Rowling used it as fuel to keep going. Her story teaches us that persistence turns failure into progress. To fail forward, you must cultivate curiosity. Ask yourself questions after every failure. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? What lessons can I apply next time? This reflective practice shifts your focus from frustration to growth. It helps you move forward with greater clarity, purpose, and determination. Fear of failure often paralyzes us. We overthink, procrastinate, or avoid risks altogether. But here's the truth. The fear of failure is often worse than failure itself. The anticipation of falling short keeps you from even trying. To defeat failure, you must conquer this fear. How do you do that? By shifting your perspective on fear. Instead of seeing fear as a warning sign to stop, see it as a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth lives on the other side of fear. When you embrace fear as part of the process, you rob it of its power. Start small. Take one step toward your goal, even if it scares you. With each step, your confidence will grow and fear will shrink. Remember, action is the antidote to fear. The more you act, the less intimidating failure becomes. You don't have to face failure alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, believe in you, and inspire you. A strong support system acts as a safety net when you fall. These are the people who remind you of your potential when you forget it, who encourage you to try again when you feel like giving up. Seek out mentors who have overcome failure themselves. Their stories can provide you with valuable insights, strategies, and hope. When you see others who've risen from failure, you'll realize that it's not only possible but inevitable if you keep going. At the same time, distance yourself from negativity. Avoid those who dwell on your mistakes or criticize without offering constructive feedback. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your resilience, so choose it wisely. Persistence is the bridge between failure and success. It's the refusal to quit, no matter how many times you fall. History is filled with examples of people who achieved greatness through persistence. Consider Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper job because he was told he lacked imagination. His first animation company went bankrupt, yet he didn't give up. He persisted, and today, his name is synonymous with creativity, magic, and success. Persistence doesn't mean blindly repeating the same actions. It means learning, adapting, and improving with each attempt. When you persist with purpose, you turn failures into stepping stones. In the pursuit of success, we often overlook our progress. We focus so much on the destination that we forget to celebrate the journey. But progress deserves recognition. Every small win, every lesson learned, and every step forward is worth celebrating. When you acknowledge your progress, you build momentum. Momentum keeps you motivated, even when failure strikes. It reminds you that you're moving forward no matter how slow it feels. Progress is proof that you're growing, and growth is the ultimate goal. Some of the greatest innovations in history were born out of failure. When the Wright brothers attempted to create a flying machine, they faced countless crashes. But each failure taught them something new about aerodynamics, structure, and design. Their persistence and willingness to learn from failure eventually led to the invention of the airplane. Failure forces us to think creatively. It challenges us to find new solutions, explore different approaches, and innovate. When you embrace failure as a catalyst for creativity, you unlock your potential to achieve extraordinary results. Gratitude is a powerful tool in defeating failure. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude reminds you of the opportunities that failure brings, the chance to learn, grow, and become stronger. Start a gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, even in the face of failure. This simple habit trains your mind to see the positive, even in difficult situations. It helps you approach failure with a sense of possibility, rather than defeat. To truly defeat failure, you must redefine success. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it. It's about who you become through the process of trying, failing, and trying again. Success is growth, it's resilience. It's the courage to pursue your dreams even when the odds are against you. When you redefine success in this way, failure loses its power to discourage you. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to the person you're meant to be. Imagine your life as a book. Failure is just one chapter. It's not the whole story. You have the power to write the next chapter, to create a narrative of resilience, determination, and triumph. Your failures do not define you. Your response to failure does. Each time you choose to rise, you rewrite the story of your life. You prove to yourself and the world that failure is not the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary. So, defeat failure by embracing it, learn from it, grow through it, and use it as a stepping stone to greatness. Because in the end, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you rise.